I don't know if we can win this war. We are outnumbered by machines.
The year is 2018. Judgment Day has come and gone, levelling modern civilization. An army of Terminators roams the post-apocalyptic landscape, killing or collecting humans where they hide in their desolate cities and deserts. Terminator Salvation is the latest film in the Terminator series. It is set only 9 years away, but how does it stack up in terms of reality?
Hi, I'm Rich Walker from the Shadow Robot Company. The robots in Terminator are kind of very interesting for roboticists. Stan Winston, who did the special effects, said that when he made the first film, he had a mechanical puppet. He could make it move just about, but it wasn't doing anything particularly. When he made the third film, he had pretty much a humanoid robot that he could control on set and get to do things. That was very close to actually being the hardware of a real robot. In fact, it was a robot. What we don't have is a way to make those actually wander around and operate in the world. We can build a humanoid, we can put hands on it, we can give it vision systems, we can just about get it to map its environment and plan a route. But what it can't do is reason about the world well enough to decide, there's a flight of stairs, I'd better do this. There's a door, I'd need to reach over and turn the handle and pull the handle. So it gets stuck very quickly in our world. If you get a group of robot builders together and you say to them, what's your biggest problem? They'll all start by going, oh, well, I'd really like a really good vision system. Oh, I could really do with a really excellent hand. Oh, my mobile base is a bit terrible. And the second problem, all of them will come up with, and I could do with some better batteries. They're just not good enough. The robot just doesn't run for long enough. If you go and see robots at exhibitions and robots at events, you'll notice that there are lots and lots of battery chargers tucked away behind the scenes, because at the moment, they run out of power pretty quickly. So at Shadow, we've been building robot hands that have the same capabilities as a human hand. You'll see this hand has 5 movements in the thumb, 4 movements in each finger, flesh that comes off, a little bend in the palm here to bring the little finger up to oppose the thumb, 2 movements at the wrist. On this hand, they're all actuated by pneumatic muscles in the forearm, which in the same way that your muscles contract to move the joint, these muscles contract and that moves the joint. And there's a pair of them to move the joint in each direction. We've also done hands using electric motors, same sort of principle up here and then motors down there. Now these hands are designed pretty much for use in robotics research. They're not strong enough to crush a glass. They're delicate and they're soft and they're gentle, so they can pick up lightweight objects, they can handle an egg, they can pick up a battery drill and run that and push the drill into something. But if one grabs hold of you, it's not going to damage you, it's not going to hurt you. It's designed to be strong enough to be interesting for research, but not strong enough to be dangerous. At Shadow, we spent years developing robots because we wanted to, because we were interested in doing them, and that's great fun, but it doesn't necessarily pay the bills. So a couple of years ago we started looking at where we could use this technology. What could we do with it? Where would it go? Who could use it? And we thought about it for a while, and we realised that what we had was a way to put a human hand capability somewhere that you couldn't put a human hand. So somewhere that was difficult, dirty, dangerous or demeaning, 4Ds of robotics. And we've been talking to people who do jobs like bomb disposal, people who work in hazardous microbiology labs, people who work in the nuclear industry, people who do big physics projects where the hardware gets radioactive or they have vacuum to work around, and just looking at how we can get this kind of robot into their difficult environment so that their people don't have to go there and put themselves at risk. And we see that as a big step forward, in essence, putting robots into places where humans need to be but shouldn't be. This kind of capability will let us do that. In terms of how does this connect with humans, is this part of the cyborg of the future? Is this Luke Skywalker's hand? It's not a direction we've been going with this technology. We've tried to build robot hardware for putting on robots, but we know there's quite a lot of people doing very active research into replacement hands, replacement legs, replacement feet, probably even replacement heads by now. And we've actually sold robot systems to people who are doing that research so they can use our hardware to experiment with what a prosthetic could be like. We see this though as being useful not on the human body but off the human body. Imagine if you had a pair of hands in another room that was able to do a job for you, so you didn't need to get out of bed in the middle of the night and get dressed and get in your wheelchair and roll through the house and get your glass of water and roll back again. And we think that's how this will be useful to people in the future. Science fiction, and in particular film science fiction, has had a really big impact on how people see things, see our field, robotics. Everyone's seen the lovable R2-D2, the slightly camp C-3PO, the slightly more lethal Arnold Schwarzenegger, and all of us know that they're only things on film, but yet that's how we see the world. If I'm talking to people about what we do, I only have to mention Marvin and Crichton for people to know, oh yeah, I understand your long-term goal. Crichton, obvious, everyone gets that. Because they've seen it, it's been there, it's been in celluloid, it's been on the TV. And we find that that really does make it very hard to explain to people how far away some of that technology is. Because we've all seen it. We've seen it there. We've seen those robots walk around, and we've seen them venture onto far-off distant planets. But what we also find is it makes it very easy to start a conversation with people. You can say, like Crichton, and everyone gets like Crichton, and they immediately now see what a humanoid robot would do for them. It would do the washing, it would do the cleaning, it would argue with you about whose turn it was to open a can of beer. It will be someone useful and interesting to have in your environment. But at the same time, yeah, it does set unreasonable expectations sometimes.